Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to my latest edition of Legends of the Tree World. I'm absolutely thrilled to have with me today a legendary arborist from beautiful Church Point, Louisiana, Bob Thibodeux. Welcome, Bob. Happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Wow. You know what? I've known you for a few years, but for once I went on your website and I went and got your resume and your CV. It's like 3 pages long of accreditations and the work you've done, the places you've been, the advice you've given. You've gone to like 9 different schools. I think I got kicked out of 2 different schools when I was younger, but this is incredible, Bob. Everything that you've done, like from working with different levels of government in the state and across states and all the consulting that you've done. But I must say, one of the most important things that you've accomplished isn't on this resume here. And Bob, you've been married for 59 and a half years to Miss Dot, beautiful Miss Dot. You've got 8 children, 35 grandchildren, and 11 great-grandchildren. How do you ever do this? What's your secret to weaving this all together, Bob Thibodeux?
I had to plant and sell a lot of trees.
Amazing. That's it? Just plant and sell a lot of trees?
Yeah. It was fun. It was easy.
Wow. What an accomplishment, though. Bob, obviously, if there was an Arborist Hall of Fame, you'd be there on the very first ballot with what you've done in the industry, and your accomplishments within the industry are overwhelming. Recently, we did an interview with Paul Wood, who you know, with Black Bear Cycling Adventures, and it hit me at that time that we should probably speak to you and go down memory lane about your bike tour, which is called Acorns of Hope. And I think you and I first met on Tour de Trees back in, I'm going to say 2006, when we rode from Thunder Bay to Minneapolis. Remember that? That was a really hot bike ride. We had to dip into Lake Superior to cool off a couple times. And then I joined you in Southern Louisiana in 2007 for the first inaugural Acorns of Hope bike ride. And I kept coming back. I think I did 5 years in total. Can you tell us a little bit about those tours, and why did you launch the Acorns of Hope back then?
Well, for many years, I would go down after reading Audubon's writings about flora and studies of flora and fauna. He very much came down here from up north and loved our live oaks and wrote that they were just the best genetic quality and they should be preserved. And then I saw what was happening to these magnificent centuries-old live oaks along our coastline. And then, of course, being with you people on these Tour of the Trees projects, I decided I wanted to, it was time to start something, and I had not been a very generous guy all these years. So I figured, let me grow these trees and make them available to other parts of the country, especially along the Gulf Coast. And we're excited about what we're doing, and we see, especially now since these recent hurricanes, how bad we need to grow better quality trees. Can't have good trees without good soil. So those are the projects we're working on now, and we're hoping to see some of y'all in Lake Charles as we start to green up that city.
Well, I know the Canadians, we absolutely enjoyed our times there down on Acorns of Hope, and it was pretty amazing. Now, here's the $1 million question. Do you have any dreams of getting the tour going again? I know it's a huge endeavor doing this, but yeah.
We're having a meeting with a group in Lake Charles to sit in the parks and the garden clubs and the tree board at the end of August. And our goal is to plant some 10,000 trees in the Lake Charles area, which is probably not near enough. But right now, we know we have several thousand seedlings from quality live oaks, cypress, and so forth, coastal species that we plan on starting to plant. We planted a few of them at the end of August, and then our big plan is to start in October when cooler weather comes and more natural rainfall.
How many coastal hurricanes have you lived through, Bob? And has there ever been a time during one of them where you weren't really sure what the outcome was going to be? Were you like building an ark out in the back shed there, or hammering the door shut? Has it been that tense?
Yes, I guess there's been so many hurricanes and we lived through them over the years. So it's not, we have a tendency to want to head north and get away from the coast when these storms come, but it's kind of a way of life. And I believe that, and especially the recent hurricanes, that trees do a great job of slowing down the Gulf winds. But we gotta have good trees and good soil.
Right. Yeah, that's the combination you want to go for, right? To really help mitigate the damage and the storms and that. So, Bob, I must say, within minutes of meeting you, I was in awe of your leadership, and I know I count on you as a lifelong influential mentor.
Thank you.
And I've learned so much from you, and I like to, call you the acorn whisperer, because I've learned so much about the live oak and the trees that you've propagated on your little arboretum and tree farm. And just some of the crazy memories I have is like the first serving of squirrel gumbo I ever had was at your house. And I actually thought it was chicken. And you told me it was squirrel. Then you said something along the lines of, well, of course, because every good tree man's got to have a little squirrel in him. Right. So and then, I think the very next day, we went to one of your friends where we had like deep fried gator. So and then we had like turtle soup down the road. And so this Canadian boy was like in awe of what goes on in Louisiana as far as cuisine goes. So it was a real eye opener. And some of my favorite memories was seeing like the Acorns of Hope. We had the caravan. We had about 4 or 5 of your trucks. We had Black Bear Adventure truck, and we had Team Texas with Stuart Crow. He had like 3 or 4 trucks. So we would be going through these little towns down there, and it looked like the circus was coming to town. So I just have a really, really good memory of all that. And of course, there was Medrick Martin that we met. I don't know exactly where, but just a legendary guy that lived a long life and just deep in history at his little bar there. And there was the time that we met with Governor Mike Foster, and we sat down on his living room floor with you, and he recounted a story that there was a tree at a highway somewhere down there that was going to have to come down. You got involved. He got involved. He flew down in his helicopter, met you, went out to where this project was, and they ended up moving the highway and saving the tree. I don't know if I'm on course with that story, but do you remember that at all?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Drive by that tree often, and we still see about it periodically in terms of making sure that soil condition is good and probably prune, that kind of thing.
Thanks to you two, you've saved a heritage live oak. So thank you for that. That was amazing. So just a quick question here. Knowing what you know now today, what advice would you have for a young student that wants to get into the tree business?
I've turned 80 years old and I have grandkids and young people working for me. I tell them, be the best you can be. You have to not just be a tree cutter.
Right.
You have to help people make good decisions, because man seems to be so disconnected from nature, and we got to try to bring it together. And remember that we are blessed to have an opportunity to make this world better for the future generations that can come and live to see a live oak, a tree that can live 2,000 years.
Right.
And it's so badly needed along our fast eroding coastline. Take care of the soil, take care of the trees, and God will take care of us.
Right on. What has been the most rewarding aspect of being at the helm of Bob's Tree Service for so long?
I've learned to enjoy nature, the sound of birds. Right now, we call that my outside office. So in the morning, I can hear the birds sing. It's all organic. I see the butterflies going. And to think that a few years ago, this was a pasture. Good to know we're doing something to make the world better, hopefully for future generations. But it was wonderful people that went so far out of your way to come over here and help us with our coastline. And the tour of trees was exciting for me too, because we're riding bicycles 70, 80 miles a day, and we're visiting with people from all over the country and Canada that came with us, and some from Europe, Australia. It goes so far out of their way to come and help us, and it was good to share his experience. It was a school.
Yeah.
It was a great school. Just to be
nice.
with you guys for 70, 80 hours a day. I hope you come soon so you can see some of the trees that you Canadians planted in my arboretum.
I would love to. Yeah, let me know what's going on November down in Lake Charles. Maybe they'll allow us to get across the border, and I would love to come down and see.
I'd love to have you.
Yeah. So, Bob, it's been an absolute pleasure to reconnect with you. And thank you for being instrumental to the propagation of Professor Pricklethorn.
And remember, when you come, I'll treat you a squirrel gumbo.
And because, if it weren't for you, I'm pretty sure my Pricklethorning would not have happened. And I like to say that Pricklethorn was born from the beautiful trips to Louisiana and a few supervised trips to you around the various cities, and then a few unsupervised trips that I had on Bourbon Street in beautiful New Orleans. So from all of that, I think Pricklethorn was born. And please say hi to all your family and the lovely Miss Dot, and keep on rocking in the tree roll, Bob. Thank you. Oh, there she is.
That looks like you.
Don't be jealous on the hair.
You're lucky to have that much.
Yeah.
Thank-
you're lucky about that much.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, wonderful people. You're such an important part of our Acorns of Hope and our love of the land and the trees, the creation, and so forth. Thank you. You
Thank you,
you
guys.
people are the best.
Thanks for your time, guys. I'll say goodbye and we'll be in touch.